You know, if you look at the headlines right now, here in early 2026, it really feels like the sky is falling.
Yeah.
You scroll through your feed and it's just this wall of noise. Robots are replacing workers, or, your degree is worthless. It all just screams that automation is the end of the road. It's a lot.
It is loud, and it's frankly terrifying for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you kind of look past all that noise, there's this quiet group of people who aren't panicking at all.
Okay.
In fact, they're securing salaries between like $80,000 and $300,000, doing work that, and this is the key, didn't even exist 5 years ago.
That is the disconnect we need to solve today. It's Sunday, February 8th, 2026. This is the deep dive, and we're going to try to look away from the panic and look directly at the machinery. We're unpacking what we're calling the AI labor stack.
Right. And the mission for this deep dive is pretty specific. We aren't just talking about learning to code in that traditional sense, though we do have to touch on that.
Yeah.
We are breaking down 7 specific jobs that are hiring right now, today, that place humans inside the machine, not outside of it.
I like that distinction, inside the machine, because usually it feels like we're just waiting to be crushed by it.
Exactly.
So give us the roadmap. How are we going to tackle this?
Okay, so we're visualizing a stack. At the bottom, you have the heavy technical lifting, what we're calling the brain builders.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move up to the bridge builders, which is where I think most of our listeners will find their footing.
Okay.
Then we've got the guardians and the fixers. And finally, and this is important, we need to issue a pretty serious warning about one specific high-paying role that looks great now, but it might be a trap.
Okay, let's unpack this. Segment A, the reality check. It feels like the default human response to a massive tech shift like this is to just freeze. You see the wave coming and you just lock up.
It is the freeze response. It's, biological.
Yeah.
When the environment changes too fast for our brains, we just stop moving.
Yeah.
But the source material we're looking at highlights that the top 1%, the people capitalizing on this, they aren't freezing.
They're moving.
They're pivoting. They're landing these remote first roles with a salary floor that starts around $80,000.
That's a significant floor, but I have to ask the skeptics question here. Is this just a bubble? I mean, is this window open forever?
No. And the sources are very clear on this. It's open right now in 2026 because the technology is still so messy. As the tech stabilizes, that window closes. So speed really matters here.
Okay, let's get into the actual jobs then. We're starting at the bottom of the stack, job number 1. The source calls this one building the brain, the AI engineer.
This is the absolute top of the food chain. We're talking about a base salary of $175,000, and that's often pushing past $200K with bonuses.
Okay, but let's be real for a sec. When we say AI engineer, we aren't just talking about asking ChatGPT to write you some code. What does their day actually look like?
No, absolutely not. These are the architects. These are the people building the actual systems, like Claude Opus 4.6 or GPT 5.3 Codex. They're designing the recommendation engines, the data pipelines.
Okay, you mentioned data pipelines. For someone who's not technical, what does that actually mean? It sounds so abstract.
Think of it like modern plumbing, but for information.
Yeah.
You have, say, 1 billion gallons of water. That's your data. And you need to get it to the right faucet at the right temperature without the pipes bursting.
Okay.
These engineers build those pipes using tools like Python, PyTorch, TensorFlow. And honestly, they spend most of their day just cleaning the water so the AI doesn't get, sick.
So it's less about talking to the robot and way more about building the factory the robot lives in.
That's it, exactly.
So I have to pause for a moment of wonder here. When you really stop and think about it, imagine the sheer scale of what these engineers are building.
Yeah.
A neural network that's handling 1 billion queries at once, routing all that information through layers of logic that feel almost organic. It's just staggering.
It is engineering at a level we really haven't seen before. It's widely considered the hardest cognitive work happening on the planet right now.
Which brings me to the practical question. For our listeners, is this realistic for someone who's starting from zero today? Can you just boot camp this in 3 months and jump in?
Honestly, no. It requires months, usually years, of heavy study and certification. If you don't already know the difference between a gradient descent and a decision tree, this just isn't your starting point.
Right.
This is for the heavy lifters.
That's what I figured. So if you're not already deep in the code, we need to look elsewhere. Let's move up the stack to job number 2, the AI product manager.
Now we're getting into the bridge builders.
The source material uses this great analogy of the bridge. And to illustrate why we need these bridges, it brings up a painful memory for Apple users, the autocorrect disaster of 2023.
Oh, right. I remember that vividly. Messages just getting mangled, sending embarrassing typos to your boss. It was a whole cultural moment.
But here's the thing. Was that a coding failure? Did those engineers we just talked about, did they mess up?
Well, the source makes a fascinating point here.
Okay.
Technically, no. The AI did exactly what it was mathematically trained to do.
Okay.
It predicted the most likely next word based on probability. It was actually a management failure.
Because nobody checked if the math was socially acceptable.
Exactly, and that is where the AI product manager lives. This role pays between $100,000 and $140,000. And the main requirement isn't Python. It's clear thinking.
Ah.
You are the person asking, is this actually what we want the AI to do, before it goes out to 1 million people.
So you're the translator. You're standing between the engineers who speak math and the users who speak, well, human.
That's a great way to put it. You're writing product requirements, you're flagging issues. It's all about keeping these huge AI projects aligned with business goals. Your day is spent in meetings, looking at user data, and mostly saying no to engineers who want to build cool things that nobody actually needs.
Okay, so if organization is your superpower, that's your role.
Yeah.
But what if you're more persuasive? Let's talk about Job number 3, the AI sales specialist.
The deal closer, or as the source puts it, the bridge that gets paid.
Yeah.
We're looking at $80,000 to $140,000 plus commission.
This is an interesting dynamic because usually sales is just sales. Why is AI sales different? Why can't a normal software salesperson just do this?
It's a pure arbitrage opportunity. You've got law firms, banks, all these massive legacy companies. They're desperate for AI because they know they're falling behind.
Right.
But they have no idea what to buy. They're totally paralyzed by choice.
They just know they need the AI.
Exactly. Now, the engineers we just talked about, they usually can't sell. They get lost in the weeds explaining neural architecture and all that. And traditional sales reps. They don't understand the tech well enough to explain how it actually helps a lawyer draft a contract faster.
So there's a gap, a competence gap.
A huge gap. If you can speak plain English and you understand the tech, you win. If you can explain AI to a law firm partner in a way that connects to their actual billable hours, you are incredibly valuable. You're not selling software, you're selling a solution to their panic.
But sales is a grind, isn't it? Is this a low-stress role?
Definitely not. No, you live by your numbers. But because the demand is so high right now, the upside is just massive. You are the one bringing the money in the door.
High risk, high reward. Let's shift gears to something a bit more structural. Job number 4, the AI chatbot designer.
The conversation architect.
I love that title, but I want to be clear. We aren't talking about picking the colors for the chat window, right? This isn't visual design.
Not at all. This is logic design.
The source brings up that Air Canada case from a few years back. Do you remember this?
Oh, the chatbot that went rogue. Yes. Air Canada lost a court case because their chatbot literally invented a refund policy that didn't exist.
It just made it up.
It just promised a guy a refund, and the court said, well, your bot said it, so you have to pay it. It hallucinated.
Wow. Yeah.
And that happened because the conversation paths weren't fenced in properly. That is what a chatbot designer does. You design the logic trees. You map out the conversations. You have to anticipate, okay, if a user asks for a refund, the bot must check the database first. It cannot just say yes.
So it's almost like you're writing one of those choose-your-own-adventure books, but you're strictly enforcing the rules so the reader doesn't, fall off a cliff.
Precisely. The source mentions a salary of $80,000 to $115,000, and it specifically points to IBM's course, Building AI Chatbots Without Programming.
So if you're the kind of person who spots a plot hole in a movie and it just ruins the whole thing for you, this is your job.
Logic over lyrics?
Yes.
Exactly. You spend your day breaking down human conversation into flowcharts.
Got it. Okay, job number 5, the AI support specialist. The fixer.
Or the human in the loop.
We all know customer support has changed. It's mostly AI now. But what happens when the AI breaks?
That's where this role comes in. When the AI gets confused or it hits some edge case it hasn't seen before, it flags a human.
So walk me through that. Is this just a call center job with a fancy title? Because support specialist usually implies a headset and, well, misery.
No, and here's the key distinction. In a call center, you answer the question and you hang up. In this role, you review the flag, you correct the mistake, and then, and this is the important part, You feed that correction back into the system.
You're teaching it.
You are training the AI not to make that specific mistake again. You aren't just solving one customer's problem, you're building the system's resilience. The salary's a bit lower, maybe 50 to 80,000, but it is very remote friendly.
So you're essentially an on-the-job trainer for the algorithm.
That's it. You need patience, and you have to be good at troubleshooting.
That's a crucial distinction. You're optimizing the machine. Now, job number 6, and I want to shift the tone a little here because this one it's heavy. The AI content moderator, the guardian.
Yeah. This is the last line of defense. The pay is lower, around $40,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
But the responsibility is massive.
You are reviewing the outputs that are flagged as dangerous, misleading, or just inappropriate.
And we have to be really honest about what that means. The source issues a strong mental health warning here. You aren't just checking for typos. You are seeing the worst of the internet. Hate speech, violence, all the toxicity. You're the one filtering out the sludge so the rest of us don't have to see it.
It's the janitorial work of the digital age. But for toxic content, it just sounds incredibly draining.
It is. It's heavy, it's stable, it's necessary work. But the burnout risk is very, very high. It takes a specific kind of resilience.
It begs the question, though, that I think we have these super advanced models. Why can't AI just moderate itself yet?
Because AI still struggles with nuance. It doesn't get context or sarcasm or safety in the way a human does.
It needs a conscience.
It is a conscience, and for now, that conscience is a human being.
That's a sobering thought. Okay, let's move to the final specific job on the list. Job number 7, the one everyone talks about, the prompt engineer, the AI whisperer.
This one comes with a high price tag. We're talking $135,000.
But there's a catch.
There is a catch.
Yeah.
But first, let's define why it pays that much.
You know, I have to make a bit of a vulnerable admission here. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get a system working perfectly, generating a report exactly how I like it, and then maybe 2 weeks later, I use the exact same prompt, and the AI it goes off the rails. It gives me something totally different.
That is drift. And for a casual user like you, it's annoying. For a law firm or a medical group, it's a complete disaster.
Right.
They need consistent, reliable outputs every single time. They can't have a contract clause just changing because the AI felt creative that day.
So the prompt engineer is the one who locks that down.
You design the inputs to lock down the outputs. You're the one struggling with that drift so that the lawyers don't have to. You're creating the templates that the rest of the company is going to use.
But the source material warns us pretty clearly. This might not be a 20-year career.
No. As the models get smarter, they just need less whispering. They understand intent better. So this role, it's a right now opportunity. It's a gold rush.
So don't plan your retirement around this particular job title.
Exactly. Take the money while the gap exists, but you have to be ready to evolve. The source is very clear. This skill will eventually just be part of everyone's job, not a job title on its own.
Clear enough. Grab it while you can. Now, before we wrap up the list, the source mentions a bonus category, the non-jobs.
Right. This is for the people who are listening to this whole list and thinking, yeah, but I don't want a boss. This is the leverage play.
So we're talking about things like being an AI automation builder, going into a small business and cleaning up their messy systems.
Or building a micro SaaS. Solving one tiny painful problem with a dedicated AI tool. Or being an AI asset builder, selling your prompts and templates online.
The core concept here is income bending upward. What does that mean in practice?
Right. So in a normal job, even the high-paying ones we just listed, you work an hour, you get paid for an hour.
Sure.
In these roles, you are building leverage. One person can now do the work of a 10-person team. You build the system once, and it keeps paying you over and over.
And that is a completely different game than just trading your time for money. You're building an asset, not just filling a seat.
Exactly.
Okay, let's bring this all back together. We've covered a lot of ground here. We've got the brain builders, the bridge builders, the guardians.
Well, if we synthesize this labor stack, it really looks like an ecosystem. The engineers build the brain, the product managers make sure the brain is thinking clearly, the salespeople convince the world to use it, and then the designers, support, and moderators, they train it and they fix it when it breaks.
And the core takeaway here feels pretty simple. Stop trying to compete against AI.
Right. Don't try to be faster than the robot. You will lose. You have to position yourself inside the system that makes the AI work.
That's the entire shift, from competitor to operator. So for the listeners sitting here, maybe feeling a little less frozen than they were 20 minutes ago, what's the next move?
Pick a lane that actually fits your personality. Don't try to force it. If you're an extrovert who loves people, go for sales. If you're super logical but you hate code,
Hmm.
chatbot designer. If you want to see the big picture, product manager.
And what about credentials? Are we talking about going back for a 4-year degree here?
No, and that's the beauty of it right now. Coursera, Google, IBM, the credentials exist, and they are accessible. Employers are looking for proving competence, not just a fancy pedigree.
The final thought from our source material is one that really sticks with me. The best time to start was yesterday, but the window is closing.
It won't stay open forever.
Yeah.
The labor market will adjust. Supply will eventually meet demand.
So don't wait. Thank you for diving in with us today.
Always a pleasure.
See you in the deep end.